YouTubers, and thank you for tuning into the Dice. Very different video on YouTube. Now, before I should actually start this video, at the time of making this video, it is of course the Lunar New Year, or Chinese New Year, or Vietnamese New Year. It's a great time of year, and it's also the largest festival in the world actually, because, you know, there's a lot of people migrating from, you know, a lot of Asian backgrounds, particularly the East Asian backgrounds. A lot of people go back to China or Vietnam or any other places where there's a lot of overseas Chinese and Vietnamese people around. They go back to places like, you know, China, Vietnam, and also other parts of Asia I can just name. To few actually. I'm just pretty much being very careful with my mouth actually, because, you know, this is actually going to be a very sensitive subject as I'll be moving on later on, because I'm going to be talking about a particular subject later on, which I did about 3 or 4 months ago. So yes, Chinese New Year is basically the time when, you know, a lot of people from that background go back and see their families, and then return to wherever they work on. They go back to the countries of where they actually work on, and all that stuff. But anyways, that's not the subject I'm actually going to be talking about in this video. The subject that I'm actually going to be talking about is, unfortunately, dealing with a very nasty and gnarly phenomenon called the cost of living crisis. And yes, this is the sort of subject, unfortunately, that has led to a lot of dangerous activity on my YouTube channel, and has also led to some very dangerous activity, not just on YouTube, but also the rest of the whole world. Even social media is getting bombarded by this absolute nightmare, a complete nightmare of a phenomenon. And so my mouth is starting to feel like, it's starting to sound like as if it was slurring and stuff, but I'll try not to. So yes, the cost of living crisis. Of course, yes, I've already been investigating of just how terrible it really has. And I mean very terrible, and I'm not even joking here, because this phenomenon has been taking over so much, and it's becoming like, I don't know, it's kind of like something that I just really want to abandon my life of I don't know, it's just a bit too complex to say actually. You know, this cost of living bubble is a complete butthole of a subject to talk about, because it's going to lead to a complete dangerous website of, like a complete web hotspot of nasty people, unfortunately. And I'm taking a big risk of making a video like this, because, you know, I have been accused, and I have actually been receiving complaints from people saying, but Ivan, you shouldn't be looking at, you shouldn't be filming and making videos about, your energy bills, because, you're using, your email account just to see things and stuff. I don't know, it's a bit difficult to really say here, and it's just totally wrong here. Now, I can tell you what, it's becoming very, very much tough to really say, hey? And I can tell you what, as I'm going onto the Yahoo website, I might as well grab the webcam. Obviously things have been very, very tough so far, and I can tell you what, if I was you, I'm just going to basically lift my finger away now, because I can tell you what, things are not looking bright here, isn't it? I tell you what, if I was pretty much being realistic, I would rather feel like this girl here. Can you see how she's feeling in this picture here? Now that is a classic example of how 2024 is feeling like. Although I can see a picture of a dragon right there. I think there's a dragon here, let me just show it to you. And there it is, that's talking about Lunar New Year of 2024. Happy Chinese New Year, or Lunar New Year, if you are watching this video. Oh, there's a bit of Grand Theft Auto into it. Don't want to get too caught up in this subject here. So yes, I would rather feel like this girl here, because the world has been completely and utterly, oh my god, this is just too much. I'm gonna get out of here, because obviously this site here is a complete nightmare. It's a complete bombardment of activity. Let's just get out of here, and I don't know, let me just go ahead and cover up the webcam here, because I need to speak into camera here. Now, of course, yes, instead of actually just showing you of just how my Yahoo Mail is like at the moment, and yes, I have been receiving complaints about my YouTube channel, like though, because it's been very tough, and I have to say I'm really sorry that I have to make a video like this, because not only I'm risking for my life, I'm not only just risking for the most dangerous part of the life, and it's just talking about what my mail data has been receiving so far, and not only that, but also some of the more recent events that I've been looking out for, and it's just really embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing. And I mean, give me an absolute break. Like, I just can't stand, and I'm sorry I have to run here, I can't stand, like, talking to you guys right in front of camera, talking about the cost of living crisis. And it's not a joke. And I mean, I have to make a very serious video about this, because unfortunately we are living in a very crippling world, and I mean very crippling to say the least. And I mean, it's just absolutely wrong, you know. Just to think of just how terribly wrong the world really is today, I just don't give an absolute monkey's toss about how, you know, completely awesome the world it is today, versus of just how terrible it is. You know, realistically, it's just completely and utterly wrong, you know, absolutely terrible. I mean, how is this humane, frankly, just to make a video like this? And it's just absolutely wrong, and it's just absolutely crap these days, and I just can't believe this. You know, as I've been making videos about the cost of living crisis over and over and over again, I just don't know what to really say. So yes, I could tell you what the previous, although I might as well just estimate the previous total, because it's going to look very totally different compared to what I've already talked about. And I mean, there's just so many things that I can really talk about the cost of living crisis in this video, but at the same time I just don't have to, because oh man, that's going to probably raise alarm bells. It's also going to spawn a very big nest hole of dangerous people and a nest hole of dangerous activity online, and it's just going to look very, very ugly in a sense after making this video. Now that's going to make a complete shock to the whole system. Now, of course, as I'm making this video, it is February the 10th, and February is only just a very short month. So of course there's just a write down of how much I've paid previously in the last previous months. I think it was, yes, January, December and November, I think, and also October and September of last year. So the total price that I paid was this. I paid £107.15 for the payment from EDF Energy, and I have no commercial connections to that company as well. And guess what? This is actually going to be completely and utterly shockingly scary. I'm going to show you how much I've paid, and of course, yes, I'm not going to actually show you how much. I'm not going to tell you of just how my email account is like. I'm just going to show you of how much I've actually paid so far as I'm making this video. And I'm going to grab the webcam here, because guess what? This is actually really shocking. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm actually going to minimize this actually. Guess how much I paid? £220.07. Now that is an absolute outlandish nightmare of a price that I have to pay. And I mean, give me a break. And I mean, £220 for this? Crikeys. I mean, you know, I've been using the vacuum cleaner many times over my lifetime, and I don't give a monkey's toss about paying this. I mean, this is just absolutely, frankly, wrong. I mean, I have to cover the address like this. Sorry, I have to really cover the address like that. And oh my god, sorry, it's got my postcode and also my address as well. Maybe it's best I need to cover that one up. So yes, £220.07. It's just absolutely horrible. And I mean, that's just a lot of money, a lot of energy that I've just been using up. That's just not very good. So there you go. And I mean, I'm making possibly the most dangerous videos I've made on YouTube. Maybe just there to embarrass myself, and maybe just to look, just looks, I don't know. This is just really too ridiculous. And if I go to the other site here with me covering my webcam, oh my god, this is a complete nightmare. I'm gonna say to myself, oh my god, see this? Thank you for your payment. Thanks for your card payment of £220.07. Like, of course, yes, I've been using the vacuum cleaner multiples and multiples of times, and of course, yes, £220. That is a huge price total. And I mean, it just goes to show you how completely and utterly scary the world really is these days. And as I said before, I don't give a monkey's toss of just how fluffy and happy the world it is. We are now living in a complete nightmare of a world. And I mean, it's just completely and utterly scary. And I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, this is not like Bitcoin, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm sorry to say this is not Bitcoin. This is real money. And obviously, when I look at this, it really does not only grind my gears, but it also raises alarm bells whenever I think about this cost of living crisis situation. And I mean, it's very huge. And of course, yes, if I cover this one up, I want to go ahead and take a look at BBC News for a while, eh? Because I don't know whatever the hell am I looking at. I'm just looking at a whole bunch of absolute crap as I'm making this video here, because I could tell you what, the energy bills and the debts and stuff that I've been suffering from have been really, really embarrassingly adversive. And I mean, not just embarrassing, but also very, it's just humiliatingly massive. I think I've just done too much damage. I think I've just damaged my bank account. And I mean, I'm really sorry to say this. Of course, yes, there's a lot of things talking about the cost of living crisis. There's a whole lot of that mollycoddling going on here. There's a lot of nonsense going around on the news here, right? There's a lot of nonsense around here these days. And I mean, this is just completely wrong. Like, I mean, I'm seeing this. Water bills to rise above inflation in April. Am I actually getting really traumatized about news like this? Yes. Part of the reason why I'm so traumatized on news reports like this is because, well, to be honest, it's the sort of thing that I try and do my best to look after my money, but also at the same time not to look at it too much, because even if I look at these news reports, it just seems to scare the absolute crap out of all people, including me and also the whole community. And I mean, as I'm making this video, this is becoming like a complete bubble of misery, and it really is. I could tell what this is really very much a complete dangerous game, and I'm playing a very dangerous game here. As you can see, you know, this is actually becoming extremely, I have to say, it's very tough. It's so tough, and I've got no more words to say this. You know, as I said, the more I look at this, the more death-defying this is. And what I'm saying is, it's the more frightfully, it's a complete horror show. Just to see how much I'm reading about this complete cost of living crisis. And I mean, it's just far too much. Maybe it's this, you know, maybe make more videos like this and get the YouTube algorithm, you know, completely nutty crazy, and just go poof, poof, poof. I just don't know what's going on with the strife of what's going on with my bank account. And I mean, it's just too much. I might have to probably close these tabs here, and I might have to probably come along and discuss about this, because this is not very good news. And really, the more I talk about this cost of living crisis, the more it's going to fry my complete and utter brain. Okay, so how much of an act can I really start? Like, this is just becoming a complete nightmare, in a sense, this whole cost of living crisis. And it's kind of, you know, obviously, whenever I look at every single news report about the cost of living crisis, and also about the energy bills that I've got at the moment, it's not like something that is just being spoken towards me interface or in person. So I can't really, you know, hollow out a bit of fluent English, because I can tell you what, you know, whenever I look at all of those cost of living crisis news reports, and also the messages I'm getting on my email account on Yahoo, of course, unfortunately, that has been leading me to a very big, troublesome, and very risky moment in life. And I mean, it's kind of like I'm just looking at something right in front of screen here and scaring myself. It's like I'm totally looking at myself as if I was like a total goose. Okay, obviously, with that being said, let me just go ahead and without talking so much garbage on YouTube in a sense, and I mean a lot of people get so ticked off and a bit mad about in the way that I talk so much garbage and stuff, and a lot of, you know, slandering and stuff. I just can't shake my head out of just how completely and utterly, intimidatingly, nightmarishly, traumatizingly, it's just very adversive. You know, just the thing of how, you know, stupid. You know, it's very stupid of me just to make a silly little video, just an absolute humiliating and mortifying video about me making about this whole cost of living crisis. Okay, without me ranting about in this whole video, before I start to completely fry my brain over and over and over again, I need to probably do some maths. And of course, yes. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, take forward, I'm going to show you a bit of maths, because obviously this is very important to do so. So, of course, yes, what was it? This is, I've got some mugs here because I was drinking some hot drinks and stuff. £107.15. I can tell you what, this is going to get really scary, guys, and let's do a bit of maths here. So it's £220 and 7 pence. Do you notice of just how scary this price is? And let's do this, let's do a bit of maths. £107 and 15 pence. Or cents, if you like to call it in America. Or any other country in the world. So, okay, this is a very huge price difference going on here. Let's do it as if it was a subtraction sum. Okay, so we've got decimals here. I can't do minus, of course. Let's start from here. What's 7 take away 5? That's 2. 0 take away 1. I can't do that, so change this to a 10. That becomes a 9. Then that means I need to cross out this, and it becomes very much tricky here because, oh my god, it becomes oddly enough very, very large. I think it has to be a 9 or a 19. I can't really remember. Maybe it could be this. Maybe it could be 10 or 19. I can't really remember. Oh, I don't know. This is just getting very too complex these days. This is just completely scary. Talking about this cost of living crisis. I might have to double check on the computer because I think I'm getting the wrong answer here. But I'm actually doing this just as a bit of a general investment and just to use this as a very ethical way of just showing of how completely remorseful and regretful of just me using up so much energy. And of course, yes, the only thing to blame for all of this energy stuff is me using the vacuum cleaner excessively, and that's because not only I've been working hard so far on my bedroom, making lots and lots of toys, but I can tell you what, my entire house that I'm living in is far much more dirtier than anywhere else of where I lived. So yeah, it's just too much, and it costs about I don't know. I feel like I don't want to make this video anymore again, because the more I talk about this, the more it's going to completely fry my brain, and it's hurting convenience amongst every person. Okay, so as I'm learning here, once again, where to start? Where to start off making videos like this? It's just too much. Okay, so, okay, I need to take some deep breaths. I need to take another one, of course, because I can tell you what, this is one video that I've decided not to make, but I just feel like I don't want to make this. I really give up. I really, really give up. And that's because of the strife of what's going on here. This cost of living epidemic has been a complete, nightmare. And I mean, it's just too hard to talk about this. And I mean, it's just sort of frying my brains. So much of such. It's just far too much. And I mean, I'm really scared. And I mean, I'm just so fed up with the, inflation levels just going skyrocketing high. And it's just, that really does speak volumes. It's speaking volumes of just how frightfully high times are changing these days. And I mean really high. And I'm not even joking here. This is a complete serious sideshow of just how completely ticked off about this situation that I'm actually flowing through in. And I mean, when will these interest rates would literally fall? And I mean, when will it fall? It's a totally different story. It's a complete another story that will be told very differently wise. And I mean, give me an absolute break. And I mean, I don't know if I'm just making this video, guys. Maybe I need to start thinking about doing maths here. So 19 take away 7. So what is 19 take away 7? We need to do this as in a bit of an educational investment, guys. So I think it's 12. I think it's 12. And then I'll just cross this one out and replace it with a 1. And I think it's 1. And of course there's 112 and 92 pence. Do you see a difference? Maybe I need to do a price comparison here, eh? Yes, I was correct. It was £112 and 92 pence. So this is the total difference. This one here is the price I've paid for today, monthly wise, in terms of the energy bills. This was what I was paid normally. This is the energy price that I've paid normally, of course. This is the price I paid today and also last week. And I mean, I'm completely mortified of how much I paid for an absolute damn price. An absolute damn energy price as I'm living here. I mean, give me a break. That's it. I had enough of this. I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little bit angry in a sense, but it's just that this cost of living crisis. Oh my god, I am so sick and tired about this whole cost of living crisis. Because, you know, as I keep on seeing more and more of this, the more fed up I'm looking at content like this, it has made me feel really resentful in the way I make videos these days. I mean, the question is, if you ever made a video like this, would you ever feel so embarrassed? Yes. Part of the reason why is because, one, it's going to lead into such very dangerous activity, and I'm doing a thumbs down just because of how really bad this video is. Two, of course, yes, because it's a very bad video, and because it involves me talking about this whole cost of living crisis, and because I'm using an email, that's the third reason, of course. I'll be completely surrounded by very dangerous. I can tell you what there's going to be a lot of sharks on the internet, and as I'm meaning this, there'll be a lot of people who are circling, and that really raises alarm bells. And I mean, it's just terrifying. Yeah, it's completely scary. Whenever you think about this, making payments about my energy bills, my debts and stuff, I just don't know what to do. You know, I'm really sick and tired on just seeing news reports and also my energy bills popping up anywhere on YouTube and Yahoo and stuff. And I mean, it's time for me to take a big rest before things are going to get better. You know, there's your saying, things are going to get worse before things are going to get better again. Well, I can tell what the guys say, I have enough. And I had absolute enough looking on Yahoo at the moment now. Because at the moment, I've got no idea where we're heading for, because this cost of living crisis is skyrocketing to an absolute high. And I mean, I've seen the lows of the low of what I've just seen so far. And I could tell you what, I could literally just tell you what, I just don't know what to really say. My bank account is literally on a complete vulnerable state of being crippled upon by this absolute nightmare. And again, this is a complete bubble in a sense. It's a complete bubble of what I've just been showing to you guys about this. And I mean, the cost of living crisis. And I mean, this has nothing to do with Bitcoin. This has nothing to do with anything else. And of course, I play no commercial connections to EDF Energy. They're the people who are behind my bank account and also the energy that I pay for. And of course, yes, after making this video, there'll be a whole bunch of dislikes on this YouTube video. I bet you what, there'll be lots and lots of dislikes right now as I'm making this video. Anyways, I'm sorry I have to rant here in this video, hey, because this message that I've just been popping up has been something I have never ever seen before over the last 3 to 4 months ago. Mind you, when I was away in Malaysia, if I was gone and flown to Malaysia for a lifetime, my energy bills would have been completely and utterly saved by this absolute nightmare of a complete phenomenon. And I mean, I had enough. I had enough. And I mean, even as I'm ranting here, I bet there'll be lots and lots of people ranting about the way I make videos these days on YouTube. Because as I'm talking about this whole cost of living crisis has become a complete syndrome. A complete syndrome, okay? It's given me very bad personality disorders as I'm actually making this. Because, you know, obviously it's just too scary to think about how much money I spend and also how much money I, you know, use to make videos like this. Just like in the way on how I use energy and stuff and how I use things wisely, it's becoming very dangerous. And as I said before, because it's a very dangerous video and a very dangerous activity hotspot, there'll be lots of people who would literally become sharks, or they'll be like sharks. And I mean, there's just so many sharks on the internet these days. It's just really, really frightening. And I mean, it's not just people on the internet who like to play monkey business games around or over on the whole of society today, because we're living in a very technological site. Now, of course, it's the weather that's also has to blame, because, you know, of course, the cold weather has really hammered everything down, and it really has hammered up. It really has skyrocketed the activity of such very dangerous activity about the cost of living crisis, because people are using a lot of energy to heat up their homes during winter time. But of course, yes, I do know that spring is just around the corner, eh? And I mean, there's a lot of things coming around the corner, eh? And I could tell you what, this is not looking good. This is becoming really, really bad. It's just so bad seeing all of this cost of living crisis news. All you just see here is a bunch of nonsense. I mean, I'm just so sick and tired of the nonsense that's actually around on the news and stuff. Every time when I look at all of those news reports, they're just frying my brain. And I mean, they're literally frying my brain, and it's actually giving me some very big anxiety issues as I'm making this video. It's a complete monstrosity here. Anyways, I can't just keep on scrolling the umpteen amount of pages and pages and pages about this phenomenon. And I mean, that's very, very bad. And I mean, you know, this is becoming like a complete sideshow. It's a complete sideshow of just how, it's a complete freak show of just how massive this is. It's a complete nasty and gnarly way to make videos on YouTube. And I mean, whether the YouTube algorithm sees this, maybe it will probably demonetize this video here, because it will obviously involve me ranting. Not only just that, it would also involve me talking about certain things or certain companies as I'm making this video here. And again, it's another bubble of concern when I'll be able to make videos in a very good way, just like my toy reviews. And I mean, you've seen so much of what's going on here, eh? And I mean, it's just too much, far too much to really say about of just how really, really bad the cost of living crisis has been going on and such. And I mean, food prices have been rising over many previous years and stuff. Even there's just so much stuff that's been rising. Air tickets have been rising. And you know what's actually been causing this cost of living crisis? We've came out of COVID, we've came out of the gas crisis, and now we're literally stuck on a bubble of wartime. You know, what's actually happening in the Middle East, and what's actually been happening in Russia and Ukraine at the moment. It's just been absolutely abhorrently bad. Okay, so, you know, I'm not really a complete and utter expert. I'm just a complete amateur who doesn't really understand the analogy of what's going on about, and I mean, this is my analogy about what's going on with the world today, and it's just completely pathetic. Completely and utterly pathetic as I'm making this video here. I'm sorry I have to rant about this, because the more I think about this cost of living crisis phenomenon, this is actually becoming like Groundhog Day. And I mean, you know, this is something. Who knows, maybe months' time, if I keep on making the same mistake over and over and over again, I'm sorry, this is another big risk I have to suffer from again and again and again. And, you know, this phenomenon really stemming all the way back towards, as I think it's late 2021 or early 2022. And I mean, this is the thing about this whole cost of living crisis. And I mean, it seems like we've seen a lot of news relating to poverty. We've also seen lots of news all about how everything has been changing. You know, there's a lot of things, and I mean, there's been a lot of bad things in the world. And as I said before, you know, there's a lot of people said to me, but Ivan, the world's already bad today. Well, guess what? It's always been like that, because whether you think of just how good the past was or bad the past was, let it be, because I'm sure the future is gonna be very, very grim. I tell you what, as I'm making a very totally different here, it's gonna be very, very bad. I tell you what, it's a complete sideshow. It's a complete freakish sideshow to look at. And I mean, there's just so many damn news reports about what's been happening around our flight. And I mean, it's just really sad. Really, it's just embarrassing just to talk about this complete nightmare. So much of it. It's just so much of it. And I mean, I'm really sick and tired of just how completely nutty massive this phenomenon has been. I don't know what to really say, but anyways, if you really enjoyed in this video, I certainly didn't, please give this video a like or a dislike of what you've just seen here, and you can just go ahead and definitely subscribe if you want to see more videos other than this. And I'm sorry, I need to get my chest out of it, because this cost of living crisis has been doing my big head in, and I had enough. And of course, this, if I keep on making the same mistake again, if I really do the same thing over and over and over again, I'm literally gone. I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little bit quite ill after making this video, but as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now. I have to get better again. I had enough.